So the last time I uploaded to the channel was just after the Sheffield half marathon, some kind of race recap of that. And I usually post my training videos every week, but just haven't had the time, so I thought I'd do a bit of a kind of summary of the last few weeks and where I'm at now, and kind of how my training plan has changed a little bit and why it's changed a little bit. So the week leading into the Sheffield half marathon, I wanted to kind of keep it as mostly a normal week. I wasn't like full on racing this event, it was just kind of a training event. So yeah, I wanted to keep my week mostly normal, so similar mileage to usual. So the way I did this was by front loading the week, so you know, still giving myself a few days to kind of rest up a little bit before the actual run on the Sunday. So yeah, here's how I did that. So on Monday, covered 32 kilometers, split up over 2 runs, both just easy runs, kind of nothing fancy thrown in or like strides or anything, just pure easy work. So it was all about getting the mileage in. So 32 kilometers in 13.5 kilometers in the morning and 18.5 later in the evening. So yeah, just 32 kilometers, pure aerobic work, build up the fitness and get the miles in early in the week. Follow that up on Tuesday with a track session. So I did 3 by 10 minutes at my kind of lactate threshold 1, so the lower end of lactate threshold. So the idea of this is to kind of build up your speed endurance a bit. So yeah, 3 by 10 minutes. I just bought a new pair of shoes, so kind of used this to test them out and see how they felt, and decided they'd be my race shoe for the Sunday. So then later in the day, just did 18 kilometers easy. Again, no strides or anything fancy. I'd already done speed work early in the day, so yeah, just 18 easy. And then in total for the day, again, I'm up at 30, so I was on around 62 for a week at this point, and that's just Tuesday. On to Wednesday, early in the morning, just did an easy one to kind of get the legs fleshed out a little bit and see how they were, and see if I could do a speed session late in the day. And based on the feeling on that session, I did go ahead and hit the track up. This was a shorter repeat session, so 400 meter intervals at around 80 seconds per interval. Did 13 of these. I think my plan was 15, but I think I was getting a bit tired, kind of struggling to hit the reps anymore, and you know, it defeats the purpose to not be hitting them. So yeah, just went ahead and called it a little bit early, keep myself fresh for the Sunday. So after Wednesday, I was on 84 kilometers for the week, so did cover 22 kilometers that day. So on the Thursday, just an easy run, 15.5 kilometers, I think, just to get me up to that kind of 100 kilometer mark, and then took a rest day on Friday. Did go out on the bike just for just under 2 hours, but kind of very easy effort. Yeah, nothing too intense, just build up the fitness, bit of aerobic work really. So took Friday as a rest day, I consider that a rest day anyway. And then Saturday I just did a shakeout. So for a shakeout, what I do is I'll do 4 kilometers, or well, not 4 kilometers, but like usually kind of works out at that. Overall the run will be about 25 minutes, and it's basically like 20 minutes, and then I'll do strides, so 20-second strides and either 30 or 40-second kind of recovery in between. For the strides, I'm trying to hit kind of as close to 240 pace I can, just get a bit of speed in the legs, and I usually feel good on Sunday then. So that was the week's training leading into the Sheffield half marathon, and if you want to see how I did in the event, you can watch the previous video on the channel. So the week after the Sheffield half marathon, the event itself went well, but basically my Achilles have been quite tight for the first like 8 kilometers when you're climbing uphill, and I was really feeling it the next few days. So Monday I didn't really do anything, just went for a little walk, but nothing at all like on a bike or anything. Tuesday I think I did try an elliptical out, but I still feel the Achilles tighten up on that a little bit. So then Wednesday I went on the indoor bike, and yeah, basically still couldn't run at this point, but was feeling like I maybe could have tried it that day, but decided to just leave it a little bit longer. So yeah, just went on the indoor bike, just did an hour, kind of easy work. I don't think I added in anything fancy like intervals. So yeah, just pure easy work on a bike. Thursday was the day that I went out to try the Achilles. Just did an hour-ish, 11 kilometers. Yeah, the Achilles are still a bit tight, but it kind of came and went. It was like the further I went, they kind of loosened up a little bit, so I guess getting the blood flowing was probably good for them. But yeah, so kind of at this point wasn't sure what to do with my week, but you know, I was focused on kind of hot cold therapy. Yeah, just get the Achilles recovered. They weren't like strained or anything, it was just like a tightness. Don't know if that even makes sense. So that 11 kilometer run was in the morning, so then in the evening I went back out and did another 15 kilometers, again just easy. Both these runs were a fair bit slower than my usual easy pace. I suppose dealing with that pain, trying to make sure kind of wasn't stressing the Achilles too much, but I suppose what I've always been told by physios is like tendons, kind of nearly actually have to use them to kind of get rid of the pain. Not the same as a muscle, so yeah, whatever way tendons work, yeah, you kind of have to put them through the punishment, and they build up the resilience that way. So that's why I kind of was trying to just get back into it, try to run off. They were feeling a lot better, still a tiny bit of tightness. Yeah, so that's why I did a double on Thursday, and I think then later that evening I actually did intervals on the bike indoors, so just for like 20 minutes, 5-minute pickup, so kind of up an intensity level every 5 minutes. Just yeah, I guess replacing what would have been usually a speed workout on a Wednesday. So I did that one. Came to Friday and it was track day, and I felt kind of comfortable doing speed on the track, kind of knowing it's a more forgiving surface than on the roads. So yeah, went to try out my usual speed sessions, see how they got on. So the first one was 3 by 11 kilometers, my lactate threshold 1, so kind of aiming for around like between, yeah, well, kind of in around 340 a kilometer, for the full 11 minutes. So I'll cover about 3 kilometers each rep. So that went quite well. So I decided I would do my usual double track session on Friday. So I went back later that day, did 8 by 1k at lactate threshold 2, which is the faster end of lactate threshold. Kind of aiming for around 330 for this one. So yeah, that session was feeling pretty good, and so I decided to add in some strides at the end, which is kind of obviously the top end speed work. So it's good to do that. I'm trying to add that in towards the end of track sessions at the moment. So yeah, 6 reps, 200 meters, trying to get in and around as close as I can to, I suppose, like 240ish. Can't really remember what I got for them, but yeah, if I can hit a top speed around 240, I'm usually happy with the strides. So on Saturday, just an easy run, bit of a kind of mini long run, so it was 17 kilometers, 80 minutes, but yeah, totally easy work. It was actually when the Newcastle parade was on, so it's kind of cool. I ran through the streets and it was like going through a marathon event. The crowds, so yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, just totally easy work, nothing kind of fancy added into that. When it came to the Sunday long run, did it purely easy, again trying to just build up the tendons again, but did want to cover a good bit, so hit 35 kilometers, and use this as a way of practicing my gels. So gel every kind of 20ish minutes, from about 40-45 minutes in, for the full duration, which was 2 hours and 47 minutes, for the whole run. So yeah, good way of practicing the gels, get the stomach used to getting them in as you're running. You're obviously not running at the same intensity, so it's a bit easier on the stomach, but yeah, the hope is that you just adapt to it basically. So yeah, good long run there. Not the perfect week, but good considering that I basically started injured and had missed 3 days, so still got plenty of mileage in, and took it as a bit of a deload week overall. So kind of aiming for my weekly total to be about 130 kilometers a week. That week was 105, so yeah, taking it as a bit of a deload. Obviously a bit of recovery from the race as well. If you watch the race video, you'll see at the end I was fairly nearly sprinting at some points. So yeah, the legs needed a bit of recovery from that one. So yeah, the deload week is good. Begin the following week, took the Monday off, total rest day. Just give the body a chance to recover and adapt to the training I'm doing. And yeah, just give the Achilles again a chance to sort of just recuperate a little bit as well. On the Tuesday, I did a double, so 25 kilometers split across 2 runs, 10 kilometers in the morning, 15 in the evening, both just easy pace. Usually I'd kind of do strides towards the end of this second run. I didn't on this day. But yeah, 25 kilometers on a Tuesday, so decent effort. Wednesday into a speed session, so kind of did a little warm up, 20 minutes at my kind of half marathonish pace. Had a 1k float and then went a 10k effort. My 10k effort was a bit slower than I would have liked it to be. I suppose a bit of fatigue in the legs and stuff. But yeah, overall 16 kilometers run in just over an hour, so pretty decent pace considering that, you know, a good few of those kilometers also easy pace. So yeah, I was hitting decent paces in the faster sections. So for the 20 minutes at half marathon pace, average 3:39 per kilometer, and then for the 10 minutes at 10k-ish effort, it's just under 3 kilometers covered, and it was 3:36 per kilometer, so not that much quicker. Yeah, I guess I'd done the bit of speed work beforehand, probably fatigued me a bit more than would have been ideal, really. But yeah, overall, I mean, it's a good speed session on tired legs, so it is what it is. So later that day, went on the bike and did a kind of VO2 max session on the bike, so 4x4 minutes, with a 3-minute recovery in between. We're just gone nice and easy, so the 4 minutes you're pushing quite hard, and then yeah, just take the 3 minutes fairly easy. Moving on to the Thursday, and just did 90 minutes easy, so covered 18.5 kilometers. Again, no strides or anything. Legs were a bit tired from the speed work day before, so pure easy work. And then just an easy session on the bike, 40 minutes as well later in the evening. So I'd had to set up the bike to kind of let me do a bit of cycling with the Achilles sore, so I was making the most of it. So yeah, just adding it on to the end of an easy session. It's just a bit of extra base fitness built up, extra 40 minutes of hard working a little bit, but not too strenuous. Again, it's an easy pace on the bike, especially indoors. It's much easier to cycle, so unless you're pushing obviously, but I wasn't. So yeah, good total amount of work, like over 2 hours, just pure base work. Really good for the fitness, I find, and doesn't really fatigue the legs going on the bike like that, so yeah, that's why I do it. So then moving on to Friday, and it's back to the track. So again, similar session the week before, 3x11 minutes in the morning at latte threshold 1, and followed up later in the evening, 8x1k at latte threshold 2. I didn't do strides at the end of this one. Must have been just feeling too tired, I guess, or must have been kind of running late and needed to get back home. So yeah, again, just my usual sessions. Trying to adapt the speed sessions a little bit going forward, but yeah, for this one it was pretty much the same as last week, just without the strides at the end. Saturday, went out on the bike, 2 hours, just again, just nice and easy, especially when I'm outdoors. I don't really push too hard or anything, just nice and easy. And total rest day, it saved me for the long run Sunday, which was 4x5 kilometers at marathon pace effort with a 2 kilometer float, which left me at 35 kilometers for the total run. So the marathon pace efforts were kind of spot on, like 3:49, 3:48, 3:49 and 3:48. So yeah, pretty much exactly where I kind of wanted them to be. So overall, really good session, really pushed the fitness forward, and a good real kind of marathon session that one. So yeah, that run was really good marathon pace session. 20 kilometers of marathon pace work, and then 15 kilometers easy. Obviously the 2.5 kilometer floats are pretty easy, plenty of time to recover. But yeah, it's my kind of first one really pushing it like this in the training, so I was really happy with it. 2.5 hours, and averaging just under well, sub 3 pace average, including the easy part. So yeah, overall pretty quick pace. Yeah, really happy with that one. Obviously that's a Sunday long run, so trying to kind of every second week do a session on the Sundays. So previous week was 35 kilometers, but it was just easy, and then this one was a session built into it. So yeah, it gives the body a chance to recover and adapt to those kind of sessions, but also get the mileage in still every second Sunday. So total for that week was 120 kilometers run, built up a little bit, but taking 2 rest days, obviously the mileage wasn't quite at that 130 kilometers. But I originally set out as my kind of plan. At the same time, at this point I was kind of rethinking my training, basically thinking that I should maybe include some more rest days and give the body a chance to adapt, recover, and basically put me in the best position for the main sessions. Speed work, easy sessions, they come and go, or no problem. The sessions with speed are the kind of most important ones. So yeah, I was kind of rethinking my training a bit here. I've been having little niggles with the hip again, so yeah, at this point I was just starting to think probably do need to ease off a little tiny bit in the training. If I can keep the hip in a sustainable position where I'm still building my fitness, then I can start to make real progress over months and months, rather than just for one marathon block and then get injured and have to start over again. So it's time to just kind of get the head screwed on, adapt the training a little bit, and that's what I've been doing kind of going forward ever since then. So the Monday, again, complete rest day from running. Every Monday from now on it's going to be a complete rest day from running. Even today I'm recording this on a Monday, just taking a nice little walk today, and no running. So yeah, went out on the bike though. Again, I don't really think this affects my running whatsoever. Body still has a chance to recover. It's a nice easy ride, but it's just building that fitness up still. So just out for less than an hour and a half. Yeah, nice easy ride on the bike. Onto the Tuesday, usual thing, 10 kilometers in the morning, 15 kilometers in the evening, and I finished this one off with stride, so building the fitness up with speed work, top end speed will kind of help the form, and yeah, just your, I suppose, your overall abilities in kind of every aspect. So top end speed and strides, try and hit around that 240 kilometer pace if I can, and I think I did about 6 reps on this, so yeah, decent session. Did hop on the indoor bike for just under 40 minutes later in the evening as well, just a bit of extra fitness. Probably also gets the blood flowing in the legs, bit of recovery, but yeah, it's just something I do if there's like a match on. I'll usually just hop on the bike for one of the halves, and just consider kind of like free fitness work. So yeah, that was kind of the purpose behind that one. Wednesday, went out in the morning, 12 kilometers, just easy, nothing kind of fancy added to it. Just went out for an hour on my lunch, so just build up the fitness a little bit, get the legs in motion, and kind of ready for another session later in the evening. So yeah, this is just a nice easy one, just 12 kilometers. I think this is the point in the week I was really starting to doubt myself. I was thinking, like, should I do a speed session or not today? You know, Wednesday, Fridays and Sundays are usually session days, but yeah, I was really kind of maybe even overanalyzing the training, but just really questioning my own training, whether what I'm doing is kind of the best thing for long-term improvement. But yeah, just easy in the morning, then did a VO2 max session on the bike, so the 4 minutes with 3 minutes recovery in between. So I kind of did that as my speed session, but it doesn't really fatigue the legs too much. I mean, you're tired doing it, but it doesn't really take long to recover, because it's just an indoor session. So, you know, I'm probably not pushing as hard as I would be if I was training for Ironman or whatever like I have in the past. But yeah, for this one, just tough effort, but like not too fatiguing on the legs. On to Thursday, back out and about, just did 20 kilometers easy run, build up the fitness. So then on to Thursday evening, 20 kilometers, just easy pace. Yeah, it was quite a hilly route, so yeah, just did the one run that day really, and took it nice and easy. But obviously, I suppose hills kind of take a bit more effort, so probably build the fitness up a bit more than what just a regular easy run would do. So it's kind of good to incorporate them in. Don't be kind of afraid of hills in training. I do want to incorporate hill reps back into my training, but just with the hip disc block, I didn't want to do it this block, because basically the hills seem to be what triggered the hip pain. So yeah, going forward I'll probably try and include them again, but for the moment no. But on like easy runs like this, yeah, the hills are no problem, and just include them. Yeah, don't try just go flat routes all the time. You get more benefit by doing the hills, and then the flats are easier. So then moving on to Friday and to track session. So this was kind of a mega session here. On to Friday and to track session in the morning. So really wanted to build this one up and progress from what I've been doing in the past few weeks. So there's kind of two ways to improve on your kind of track sessions. Either increase intensity, you can increase the duration of your intervals, or you can increase the amount that you do. So I was going to increase the amount that I did, and that was the plan. So I have been doing 8 reps at LT2. So for this one I increased it to 10 reps, and then I added on my 200 meter strides at the end. So 5 200 meter strides, an extra kilometer of work, and that was obviously faster than my LT2 pace. Yeah, so 10 reps, so a bit more of a stimulus, and yeah, just going to try progress those threshold sessions on a little bit now, going forward. So then later in the evening, the plan was 3 by 11 minutes at LT1, so around 340 a kilometer. Did the first 2 of these, but actually had to stop with about 3 minutes left maybe the first rep, and basically just getting this like extremely painful stitch. Yeah, nearly felt like my stomach was just going to blow up. So basically I think what happened was I was kind of rushed for this session, and I took a drink about 15 minutes before I left, and I think I just had too much, stomach couldn't handle it. So yeah, kind of killed the session a bit. Gave myself a little break after the second one, and try recover and hopefully get the third one in. But after about 7.5 minutes of the third one again, just couldn't go on anymore. It's too painful. So yeah, basically did 2 by 11 minutes with a little break in the second rep, and then the third rep I just after that second stitch I just kind of called it and just went easy back home. So yeah, I couldn't have done any more. It was actually just too painful. But then leading on to Saturday, so just pure recovery run. Did just over 40 minutes, and plan was around 40 minutes, and just get home, just did the extra couple, so just over 8 kilometers, nothing big at all. And the reason for that is that on Sunday my plan was to go 40 kilometers or 3 hours, kind of whichever came first. So actually so happened that they both came at the exact same time, so just 40 kilometers easy. Again, it's all about practicing getting the gels in every 20ish minutes, getting the stomach used to, you know, taking in gels that frequently, hopefully anyway, and also kind of train yourself to do it. And I suppose like not get bored of the gels, but it's hard not to get bored of them. But yeah, so this is just total long run session, massive kind of aerobic fitness boost here, I'd say. And the idea, like what I did 2 weeks before, I did 35 kilometers and followed it up then by doing 35 kilometers. The purpose of this is to kind of build up that overall distance that I'm doing, and then my speed sessions I'll go a little bit further with the speed work kind of each second week. So that's the purpose behind why I'm doing that. So overall for the week, 134 kilometers, so a bit of an increase on the week before. Did about an extra hours of running. Yeah, really good week, except for that kind of second session on the Friday. Everything kind of went to plan. So yeah, I was pretty happy with it, but yeah, like I said, I was starting to doubt my training a little bit, so just made a couple of changes. So yeah, every Monday is now a rest day, and Saturdays sometimes take as a rest day, go out for a cycle, or else total rest day. Yeah, it's all about just kind of keeping the body injury free going into this marathon. and see where the fitness is at. So obviously I went from scratch, had to build my fitness back up again, so not quite sure where I am compared to where I was in November, but yeah, we'll find out pretty soon. Yeah, that's kind of 3 weeks training kind of covered, 3 good weeks, and yeah, I'll hopefully get back to the uploading and be more consistently of another video kind of where I've run through what I did for the week and incorporated it into one of my sessions. So yeah, hopefully that should be able to get you a couple of videos in a row, nice and consistent, and yeah, build up consistently. Just over, or just less than 3 weeks now to Geneva, so kind of on the home straight here. So only a couple more training videos to go anyway. Yeah, if you've watched through all that, I hope I'm too boring. I hope it's interesting, and that you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a like and subscription if you want to see more, if you want to see how I get on in Geneva, and in future races. I'll be kind of going into 10k training almost immediately after I've signed up for a few 10k events, kind of in the month and a half after Geneva. So yeah, I'll be switching to training, build up a bit of speed, I hope, and that'll kind of move me forward in future marathons. So yeah, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed. See you next time.